Freddie, we were going to the Super Bowl, man.
Oh, Freddie.
We're going to the Super Bowl.
We were going to the Super Bowl, man. Still 30 minutes of pain.
I still blame
I watched that Steve McNair documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, I saw it.
And, they go through the whole process leading up to his unfortunate and very sad death, right? Tragic death.
Mm-hmm.
But that when they talked about 99 in there and they showed the Music City Miracle, I'm still like, it started with Kevin Dyson. It was an awfully bad call. We still should have handled business. That doesn't give us any excuse.
Right.
And then it ended with Kevin Dyson.
Yeah.
Right there at the 1 yard.
Yeah.
And they got that yard back.
Yeah.
God works in mysterious ways. They got that yard back.
Yeah.
But it still hurt like hell, man.
Yeah.
You weren't a part of the, were you a part of the Uh-Oh song? Uh-oh, indeed. Was that 90?
Know what? They didn't, I was more chill, laid back, quiet, Freddie T.
Yeah.
Big Sturge, K-Mac, Fernando Bryant.
Yeah, they mushed it. They mushed y'all.
Guys.
Yeah.
2-5 live.
2-5 live, my guy.
Didn't G-Funk, I believe.
Yeah, sure.
You
bet.
On there or something, big G-Funk.
G-Funk.
So, it sounds good. No, it's like running it back with the throwback whole situation.
Yeah.
30-year anniversary.
I love G-Funk. G-Funk was great to talk. G-Funk put a big old dipper in his mouth.
He That's a big old country boy there, G-Funk.
Man, I got
100%.
a G-Funk story.
I
bet you do.
You heard it.
Yeah,
He was playing for the Titans before we picked him up, free agency. And we were at a home game in Jacksonville. I was on the bottom of the pile, and he was choking the crap out of me. I want to say another word, by the way. He was really choking me, and I'm like, yo. He's like, oh, that don't hurt. You'll be all right. So when he joined the team, he's like, man, I was just trying to say I love you.
That's a Gary Walker, ladies and gentlemen. He was a Pro Bowler here in Jacksonville. Good player. Big part of that
season.
That 99 team had so much talent. That was awesome. All right, well, this year's Jaguars, and by the way, you heard Fred's 90-yarder against the Dolphins from the playoff game. He also had that big bust-off opening game run against the Dolphins in Monday Night Football. Fred, I think we've talked about that one before as well. And so you certainly have a history. Those, in fact, you don't remember, those are the first two Jaguar-Dolphin games.
Really?
Were those two? Was the 98 Monday Nighter and then the playoff game after the 99 season. What about this year's game? Well, what a test for the Jaguars. This has all the makings of what should be a good, close game either way. No, Fred, do you see it any differently?
You know what? Just out of the gate, man. I mean, they're going to, obviously the heat shouldn't be a huge factor. It's very similar weather. Rains a lot down here. Rains a lot up there. The humidity is about the same. So the weather won't be an excuse. I like the matchup. I'm willing. I can't wait to see what the Jaguars' defense, the new defense with the 4-down linemen, the pass rush. Because if they're going to win that game, they're certainly going to have to rush the passer, get to him. He will make mistakes. You get after him, don't allow him to set his back foot. He doesn't have the strongest arm, so he won't be able to get the ball all the way down the field to those speedy receivers. And that's the dangerous part. If he gets time, those receivers are faster. They're an Olympic sprinter-style offensive makeup, even in the backfield. So if they give him time, then that's going to cause a lot of problems for that defense. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do on the defensive side. Offensively, run the ball. Protect Trevor. The running game has been a question mark or somewhat of a concern finishing last season and coming into this season. So I think they can run the ball on the Dolphins, and ETN will have a big day.
What are it's North Florida, South Florida, 904 against the 305. What's the talk down in South Florida, Freddie, with the Dolphins? What kind of expectations do they have down there? Are they talking Super Bowl? Do they think they're better than they were a year ago? What's the thought about Miami? Fred?
Whoa.
I didn't mean to offend.
I doubt you did. Yeah.
We'll get them back.
We'll get them back up. Listen, I know what your expectation for the Dolphins is that they're a lot like the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Real similar. I mean, real
similar.
So. I think they'll have a winning year. I think they'll be a playoff team. Will they win that division? I don't know. I feel about the Dolphins a lot Very, very similar to how I feel about that. I think the Jags and Dolphins have similar kind of preseason feels as teams.
Yeah.
But as Dan was asking you, Fred, before we dropped you due to today's modern technology, what is the thought down in South Florida about the Dolphins? What does Dolphin fan and Dolphin organization expect out of the Dolphins this year?
I think fan bases are similar, right?
Yeah.
Miami just comes with a bit more, glitz and glamour. It's Miami, so they want to do everything flashy and to the T. But it's similar like all the fan bases. We're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Uh-oh. Lost him again. Well, we've managed to meet a fate that was similar to many linebackers and safeties.
Yes.
Through the years.
Am I back?
There you go.
Hey, he's back again. Yes.
This technology.
I know.
You're all right.
That's okay, buddy. It happens. Not the first, won't be the last.
Yeah, so I was saying the Dolphin fans, they always get up. Like, they get up every year. They thought last year was their season more than anything. They end up losing to Kansas City there, and it was a big letdown again. But this is a fresh reset. All the fans feel that their team is going to win the Super Bowl. So, I don't know, but it starts by winning this one, big AFC matchup. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Fred, we only have a depth chart this week, and they put it out. And one of the big surprise for all of us is that Chad Muma seems to be moving ahead of Devin Lloyd. It says Chad Muma or Devin Lloyd. It has Chad Muma at 2 spots, first team.
What happened to Devin Lloyd this offseason? Did he not meet the expectations that Ryan Nielsen would have in his defense? Or is Muma just was he misused or mislabeled, or maybe perhaps was hurt for last year?
You know what? Devin Lloyd has been one of those players that you put an asterisk beside. He has the ability. I've heard some whispers somewhere where people question his studying ability in the classroom. That he's not always up on his assignments. And I don't want to put any bad information out there.
Right.
But I did hear some whispers tweaking out of the building, a building. So, I don't know, man. He's talented, a fast, speedy guy. He's pretty athletic. And you would think, okay, he can, fill the role. But you got to go out there and compete. The coaches, the film doesn't lie. We've seen games where, he's had a mental error or a mental bust here or there. And then he's had some injuries. I know he had the hand injury a year ago and some stuff. So, I don't know, man. I like Devin as a person. I think he does give his full effort. But, again, if you're going to make, small mistakes at the wrong time, it's going to hinder your progress, and coaches won't trust you. Similar to Tank Bigsby on the other side. If you're going to put the ball on the ground, that's going to hinder your playing time. Because Tank I think he's a very good running back, and he has the ability to play on this level, but you cannot put the ball on the ground. But I like the preseason that I saw in Tank, and hopefully we get a chance to see him get more touches to be able to spell Travis Etienne.
What was your perspective and experience with opening day, Fred? Because from a fan's perspective, and now the media, we've been doing this so long, you realize that it's the one league that you can never just assume a carryover from one season to the next, right? I mean, half the playoff teams change every year, so inevitably there are going to be results this first weekend that look out of the gates like they're surprising, but when we get to December, it turns out they weren't surprising at all because some teams get better and some get worse. Could you feel that level of uncertainty as a player going into opening day, or did you feel more that carryover, of continuing what you had been, in some cases the year before?
As a player, you always feel that you fill the void that was needed, and I'm always the more optimistic person and player. So for me, it was a fresh reset, 0-0. Let's give it your best shot. It's a long season. Injuries happen. Things happen. You never know what you're going to get to the end of the season. Sometimes I looked out there and I was like, okay, this is going to be a tough ride. But then we ended up going 14-2 on the Jack Del Rio. I'm like, okay, let's roll. And then you make it to the playoffs, and obviously 12-4.
Right.
I apologize for that.
That's okay.
And then you get to the playoffs, and you're like, all right, well, it gets tougher here, and then injuries happen. But injuries, people don't realize how much that affects the season. You know, you can be on your high horse and rolling and full steam ahead, and boom, a key player goes down.
No doubt.
It just shakes the fabric of your entire roster. So fans are reset back to 0-0. They're anticipating a great season. The players are doing the same. The media is just kind of like, okay, I get to critique this, I get to say this, and they do it week in and week out, and you get to a point, and then all of that conversation changes. You know, so the NFL, that's the beauty of it, man. Our game, I love our game so much. It's so unpredictable week in, week out. You see a team that shows up, you expect them to get blown out, and somehow that's the upset of the week. So, man, but kickoff, opening day, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
The guys are so revved up and ready to go, and that makes me feel that I can get out there and do it again. But I ain't crazy.
Fred, I wanted to ask you about the Gators, but I think we've run out of time.
Don't ask me about that. I'm glad we're out of time.
I don't want to do it, Fred. I just can't.
That was pretty bad.
It was embarrassing. It really was. It was embarrassing. It's what a pitiful, embarrassing lack of improvement and growth by this program through to really super depressing for him to not be able to back up what he's been selling the last 3 weeks in every public opportunity. That being Billy Napier, who's told everyone how much better this, that, and the other. And damn if they're not worse.
Hopefully Miami's the real deal. I know Cam Ward is the real deal.
Yeah, he was good.
I said that after a few plays. The boys, he's the top pick.
Yeah,
my corner, Fred. Just as an indicator, my cornerback, if I were the coach, he would have been kicked out of the game in the first quarter. There, when the quarterback decided he was going to walk it out of bounds, I was going to send him about 3 rows deep and see if he does. But that's me, you know.
No, I got you. And if I can say one thing on the way out,
yes, sir.
And the game ended how it ended. I don't mind that. But there was one moment just before the half. It's 4 minutes. But this is why you watch film and why you fall in love with the game plan and the situations of the game. And you got to take the emotions out. It's 4th and 5 at the 45, the plus 45. So you're in the Canes territory.
Right.
But your defense really hasn't gotten a stop the entire game. It was one interception that kind of bounced off a player. But it's 4th and 5. You're 0-4 on third downs. Why go for it on 4th and 5 with 4 minutes before the half? Punt the ball. Send your defense out there. Pray they get a stop. Go into halftime. Reset your squad. Come out with better, confidence and mindset, and hopefully not get blown out.
It's a simple answer. It's a simple answer, not one meant to be mean, because that's the kind of thing your coach does. It's the kind of decisions he makes.
He hasn't
over and over just doing the wrong thing.
Unfortunate, but bad.
I love Napier as a person.
Right.
We've talked on the phone. I personally just think, all right, that's just one play that stood out to me. I mean, there are a ton of plays that it could have made, or I see some guys that can be better here, better there, et cetera, across the board. That's just the way the game goes. But you always have one play that stands out. And for me, that was the one play I said, man, I wish we can have that play back. I don't care about the score. But as a former player, I'll say I wish we can have that play back as a teachable moment for our players to teach them what situational football looked like. Because at that particular point in time, the defense had not played great. Miami was pretty much moving the ball methodically down the field. And minus that interception they threw earlier, the series prior to that. But other than that, I mean, effort, as long as they play hard, get ready for the next game, because it's a long season. They can erase this big state rivalry, which was hyped up, get ready for the next couple games. And because you got a toughest schedule ever in the history of college football. So it's going to be a dogfight every week. So you got to forget that one and get ready for the next one.
Well, good stuff. Look forward to talking to you Monday when the Jags are 1-0.
Thank you, Fred.
All right, guys.
All right, buddy.
Have a good one.
You too.
Yep, you bet.